Are you tired of trying? Discover Wu Wei, the ancient effortless action secret to simplify your life. Stop struggling, watch until the end, and learn to flow. The overwhelmed self. Why we try too hard. Welcome to Echoes of Life, the space where ancient wisdom meets the chaos of the modern world. Take a moment, right now, to feel the weight on your shoulders, the weight of constant effort, the weight of endless striving. In a world that ceaselessly demands more from you, more hustle, more achievement, more doing, we are conditioned to believe that exhaustion is the price of success. We wear our busyness as a badge of honor, always pushing uphill, fighting against the natural gradient of our own energy. But what if I told you that the path to true mastery, true simplicity, and deep, lasting fulfillment lies not in more striving, but in less? What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential is found in a profound form of surrender? This constant, frantic effort is exhausting. It's the reason for our collective burnout. We have forgotten an ancient, elegant truth, the concept of Wu Wei, pronounced Wu Wei, the cornerstone of Taoist philosophy, often translated inadequately as non-action. Wu Wei is, in fact, the art of effortless action. It is the wisdom of working with the grain of the universe rather than struggling fiercely against it. Imagine a boat sailing. One sailor frantically rows against a strong current, exhausting himself and moving nowhere. Another sailor raises the sail, catches the wind, and glides effortlessly to his destination, using the natural forces around him. The second sailor is practicing Wu Wei. He is acting, but without forcing. In the Western mind, not doing implies passivity or laziness. We fear stillness because we fear falling behind, but the Taoists saw stillness as the most powerful form of action. They understood that every struggle, every push, every moment of resistance against what is a waste of vital energy or ki. Over the next few minutes, we will unpack this revolutionary concept. We will move beyond the superficial understanding of Wu Wei and explore its deep, practical applications, from simplifying your schedule to transforming your most complex relationships. We will learn how to shed the burden of overtrying and embrace the graceful power of effortless being. The true purpose of Wu Wei is not to do nothing, but to reach a state where our actions are so perfectly aligned with the natural flow of life, with the Tao, that they require little to no conscious effort. They become spontaneous, instinctive, and perfectly effective. It is about aligning your inner rhythm with the rhythm of the universe. So take a deep breath, let go of the need to rush through this video, settle in, and let us begin the journey toward the Tao of Letting Go, the path where simplicity and power are one and the same. The time has come to stop fighting your life and start flowing with it. Defining Wu Wei, the true meaning of non-action. To truly grasp Wu Wei, we must first divorce the term from its common, misleading translation, non-action. This translation is a philosophical pitfall, suggesting inertia or apathy. A more accurate and profound translation is action without action, or effortless action. It is the cultivation of a state where your actions arise spontaneously from a profound stillness within, rather than from ego-driven effort or anxious striving. Laozi, the father of Taoism, dedicated much of the Tao Te Ching to this concept, often using the metaphor of water. Water is arguably the purest embodiment of Wu Wei. It is soft, yielding, and seeks the lowest place, a position of humility and non-contention. Yet, water is the most powerful force in nature. It can cut through solid rock over time, and it can effortlessly fill any container. Water does not strive. It simply is and flows. Think about the way water navigates a mountain. It doesn't fight the peak. It flows around it. It doesn't struggle with the ravine. It fills it. Water follows the path of least resistance, and in doing so, it achieves its goal, reaching the sea with perfect efficacy. This is the essence of Wu Wei in practice, yielding to win. In human terms, Wu Wei means acting in accordance with the natural order of things, or the Tao. The Tao is the fundamental, unnameable principle of the universe, the way things are. When we practice Wu Wei, our personal will, our small ego, harmonizes with the universal will, the Tao. Our actions cease to be jarring interventions and become seamless extensions of the natural process. Consider an expert craftsman. When a master carpenter carves wood, he is not fighting the material. He is listening to it. He understands the grain, the knots, and the density. His knife moves where the wood wants to be cut. There is no wasted movement, no friction, only the elegant dance between the artist and the medium. This focused, yet relaxed state is Wu Wei. Conversely, Wei, the opposite of Wu Wei, is action that is forced, unnatural, and driven by anxiety or desire for control. When we are stuck in Wei, we try to force outcomes, manipulate people, and rush processes that need time to mature. This leads to burnout, mistakes, and ultimately, failure to achieve lasting results. The Chinese proverb says, "The best way to leave a clear stream is to let it be." Any attempt to hurry the process will only stir up the mud. The deep wisdom of Wu Wei is that action that is aligned is effortless, and action that is unaligned is suffering. By observing the world, by calming the mind, and by becoming attuned to the natural rhythms of our lives, we learn when to act, how much to act, and most importantly, when not to act at all. This is the first step towards simplifying your life, realizing that the biggest barrier is often your own over-effort. In the next section, we will delve into the internal work required, the alignment of your inner river, your qi, to truly embody this effortless existence. We will learn to trust the current. The inner river, aligning with your natural energy. To practice Wu Wei externally, we must first master it internally. This brings us to the Eastern concept of qi, or qi, which can be translated as the vital life force or energy flow within you. In the context of Wu Wei, aligning with the Tao means aligning with your own inner river of qi. When we are overwhelmed, our qi is scattered, frantic, and trapped in our heads. This results in actions that feel rushed, disjointed, and ultimately ineffective, a state of Wei. The essence of this struggle is trying to force a result through sheer willpower, neglecting the state of the inner being. Think of your actions as a magnet. When your qi is calm, centered, and flowing smoothly, you magnetize opportunities and resources to you with little effort. When your qi is chaotic, you repel what you seek and attract only more chaos. The path of Wu Wei is the path of conserving and directing your qi intelligently. How do we check this internal alignment? By asking ourselves a crucial question before every major undertaking. Does this action feel like pushing a boulder up a hill or catching a favorable wind? If an action feels heavy, draining, and met with constant resistance, it is a sign that you are operating outside of your natural flow. You are imposing your small, egoic will upon a situation that requires a different approach, or perhaps no immediate action at all. The Taoists advise, if the situation is against you, retreat, observe, and wait for the natural moment of ease. Conversely, when you are in the flow of Wu Wei, your actions feel light, organic, and effective. Ideas come naturally. The right people appear at the right time, and progress accelerates without demanding every ounce of your effort. This is not luck. This is the universe responding to your alignment. This is where practices like meditation and qigong become essential. They are not merely exercises. They are methods of cleaning the inner channels of your qi. Meditation teaches you to observe the frantic monkey mind without immediately acting on its endless demands. It allows the inner storm to subside, revealing the clear, calm current of your true nature. When your mind is quiet, your intuition, the voice of the Tao within you, becomes clear. Wu Wei is fundamentally about learning to trust that intuitive voice over the loud, anxious demands of your conscious, controlling mind. The goal is not perfection, but authenticity. When you act from a place of genuine inner peace and honesty, your actions naturally harmonize with the Tao. You stop trying to be something or force something, and you simply become who you are meant to be in that moment. This is the profound simplicity that is the ultimate form of power. By committing to internal stillness, you are laying the foundation for an effortless external life. When the inner river flows smoothly, your external actions will also flow like water, soft, yielding, and ultimately irresistible. The minimalist mindset of doing only what is necessary. Wu Wei is the philosophical blueprint for extreme minimalism, not just in terms of possessions, but in the ultimate currency, action itself. We often mistake busyness for purpose and complexity for progress. We accumulate tasks, obligations, and unnecessary efforts, believing that the more we do, the more valuable we become. This is the great illusion of modern life, and it stands directly opposed to the Taoist ideal. The Taoist master focuses on essential living by stripping away all forms of superfluous effort. If you observe nature, you see perfect economy. A tree doesn't try to grow, it just grows. A flower doesn't force itself to bloom, it blooms in its season. Nature doesn't produce wasted motion. Wu Wei urges us to apply this same principle of efficiency and elegance to our human endeavors. Think about your daily to-do list. How many items on that list are truly aligned with your highest purpose, your truest nature? How many are mere reactions, commitments made out of fear, or activities driven by the societal pressure to appear productive? The practice of Wu Wei involves a ruthless audit of your life's actions. It asks, is this action essential, or is it merely noise? This is where the concept of the power of emptiness comes into play. In Taoism, emptiness, or the void, is not a lack, but a space for potential. A cup is only useful because of its empty space. A house is only functional because of the empty space inside the walls. Similarly, a life overfilled with non-essential actions leaves no space for truly meaningful, effortless action to arise. By simplifying your external activity, by saying no to things that pull your chi in conflicting directions, you create internal space. This space is the fertile ground from which Wu Wei operates. Laozi wrote, 30 spokes share the wheel's hub. It is the center's nothingness that makes them useful. The nothingness here is the inaction, the spaciousness, the quiet center that allows the whole system to function. When you embody the minimalist mindset of Wu Wei, you move from reaction to intention. You stop engaging in unnecessary debates. You stop trying to control every variable, and you stop chasing every fleeting opportunity. Instead, you wait calmly for the moment of least effort, and then you act decisively, utilizing your full, conserved energy. This practice redefines success. Success is no longer measured by the volume of your activity, but by the quality and impact of your essential, aligned actions. By minimizing Wei, the forced action, you maximize the elegance and power of your Wu Wei. It is the ultimate productivity hack, mastering the power of subtraction to amplify your life. The paradox of effort, achieving excellence through letting go. The most counterintuitive aspect of Wu Wei is its connection to excellence. We are taught that achieving mastery requires 10,000 hours of grueling, painful effort. But the masters of Eastern traditions often describe their highest performance as feeling effortless, almost like the work is doing itself. This is the paradox of Wu Wei, maximum effect through minimal exertion. This phenomenon is captured perfectly in the Western psychological concept of flow, a state of complete absorption where action and awareness merge. In flow, the task becomes deeply enjoyable, performance peaks, and the sense of time dissolves. This flow state is, essentially, the psychological experience of Wu Wei. Think of a musician playing an instrument they have mastered. Their fingers fly across the keys, not through conscious, labored thought, but through an intuitive, spontaneous movement that seems to predate the thought itself. They are not trying to play. They are simply allowing the music to move through them. The initial effort, the years of practice, was the work of aligning the body and mind. The performance is the reward of that alignment. The Taoist path is not against initial effort, but it distinguishes between two types of effort. The effort of training, aligned Wei, the necessary work to align your skill, mind, and body with the Tao. This is focused, mindful, and disciplined. The effort of forcing, misaligned Wei, the frantic, anxious effort to control the outcome during the performance. This leads to tension and mistakes. Wu Wei is the state where the effort of training disappears into the spontaneous expression of skill. You achieve excellence not by gripping tighter, but by letting go of the need for control. This is beautifully illustrated by the story of the butcher in the Taoist text Zhuangzi. The butcher effortlessly dissects an ox with his knife, claiming he hasn't sharpened his blade in 19 years. When asked how, he explained, "I follow the natural grain of the animal. I do not fight the bone. I move through the great crevices." His mind had achieved such stillness and connection with the task that his knife moved where the universe intended it to move. His action was perfectly effective because it was perfectly harmonious. In your own life, you can achieve this by approaching challenges not as battles to be won through sheer force, but as systems to be understood and cooperated with. When you encounter resistance, don't push harder. Instead, pause, observe the grain of the situation, and look for the path of least resistance. When you find the flow, the work that once took 10 hours of struggle can be completed in 2 hours of effortless grace. True power lies in knowing when not to use your power. Wu Wei in relationships, letting things be. Our relationships are perhaps the area where we engage in the most exhausting and counterproductive way or forced action. We try to control our partner's feelings, manipulate our children's choices, or force our colleagues to see our point of view. This constant effort to control the uncontrollable is the primary source of conflict and suffering in our social lives. Wu Wei offers a revolutionary way to relate, the wisdom of letting things be. In a Taoist sense, practicing Wu Wei in relationships means letting go of the need for them to conform to your expectations. It means embracing the concept of anatta, the Buddhist idea that there is no fixed, permanent self, either in you or the other person. When you release your fixed image of who the other person should be, you create space for who they are to emerge. This practice transforms confrontation into compassion. When a disagreement arises, the typical response is to use effort, way, to win the argument, to overpower the other person's logic. This only creates friction, which Laozi describes as the opposite of the Tao. The Wu Wei response is to become like the valley, low, open, and accepting. When you are the valley, you don't fight the raging river. You simply contain it. By offering radical acceptance and non-judgment, you diffuse the emotional charge. You act not from a desire to control the outcome, but from a place of open listening and empathy. Paradoxically, by relinquishing the desire to change them, you create the safest space for them to change themselves. This applies powerfully to leadership. The best leader practicing Wu Wei is barely noticed. Their actions are so aligned with the needs of the group that the community feels it achieved its goal spontaneously. The Tao Te Ching states, "When the best leader's work is done, the people say, 'We did it ourselves.'" The leader acts by creating the right environment, providing the necessary resources, and then getting out of the way. Practicing Wu Wei in personal life means honoring the autonomy of every person. It means trusting the natural flow of the relationship, allowing it to ebb and flow without demanding constant, forced engagement. It allows you to step back from the exhausting role of the controller and embrace the peaceful role of the observer and supporter. The key question for relational Wu Wei is, am I acting from a place of love and genuine support, or from a place of fear and a need for control? When the answer is the former, your actions will be effortless. When the answer is the latter, your actions will be exhausting and destructive. Letting go of the reins is the truest act of trust, both in the other person and in the inherent wisdom of the Tao. The path to inner stillness. daily practices of non-action. How do we transition from understanding the theory of Wu Wei to embodying its reality in our daily lives? The answer lies in cultivating inner stillness, the quiet center from which effortless action is born. You cannot practice Wu Wei in the external world if your internal world is a battlefield of frantic thoughts. The path begins with learning to stop, not just physically, but mentally. The greatest enemy of Wu Wei is the instantaneous, automatic reaction. A common Taoist practice involves moments of voluntary pausing. When you receive an irritating email, stop. Before you immediately reply to a criticism, stop. This moment of voluntary stillness creates the necessary gap between stimulus and response. In that gap, you can choose an aligned action, Wu Wei, instead of a chaotic reaction, Wei. We can integrate two powerful Eastern practices to train this stillness. First, mindful observation. This is the core of many meditation practices. Instead of trying to force your mind to be quiet, which is Wei, you simply observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. You become the impartial witness. Laozi reminds us that to return to the root is stillness. When you observe your inner turmoil without engaging in it, you are returning to your quiet root. You are allowing the mental storm to pass naturally without adding your own resistance. This non-reaction is the purest form of non-action. Second, cultivating embodied flow. Practices like Tai Chi and Qigong are physical expressions of Wu Wei. They involve slow, circular, continuous movements that train the body to move with grace and minimal muscular tension. The movement is effortless because it follows the natural flow of gravity and momentum. Even if you don't practice these full disciplines, you can incorporate their spirit, move slower, breathe deeper, and find the economy of motion in simple tasks like walking or washing dishes. Look for the path of least resistance in every physical movement. A simple daily exercise is the 3-breath pause. When moving from one activity to the next, e.g., leaving the office, entering your home, before eating, pause for 3 deep conscious breaths. Use these breaths to shed the energy of the previous activity and ground yourself in the present moment. This is a micro practice of Wu Wei, a tiny injection of stillness that realigns your qi before your next action. Remember, the goal is not to eradicate effort, but to learn to apply it selectively, efficiently, and harmoniously. By making these small acts of inner stillness a habit, you are reprogramming your nervous system to prefer flow over friction, laying the foundation for a truly effortless and simplified life. Final echoes. Becoming the flow. We have journeyed through the revolutionary wisdom of Wu Wei, moving from its philosophical depth to its practical application in our modern, often overwhelming lives. We've learned that the true essence of effortless action is not laziness, but perfect alignment, a dance with the Tao where our personal will and the universal current merge. The simplicity that Wu Wei offers is not about having fewer things. It's about expending less energy on resistance. It frees us from the tyranny of overtrying. When you stop pushing against the unchangeable realities of life, the actions of others, the past, the natural cycles of growth and decay, you reclaim a massive reservoir of energy. This liberated energy is then available for the few essential actions that truly define your purpose and bring you joy. The path to embracing this effortless existence is a continuous cycle of observation, watching your actions and identifying where you are pushing. Wei, acceptance, yielding to the present reality, like water flowing around a rock. Alignment, waiting for the moment of clarity and acting spontaneously, efficiently, and harmoniously. Wu Wei, the ultimate promise of Wu Wei, as an echo of ancient wisdom, is a life of profound ease. Imagine achieving your goals without the crushing burden of stress. Imagine your relationships flowing smoothly because you trust the process instead of trying to control the people. Imagine a day where your actions feel less like labor and more like play. This is the liberated life offered by the Tao. As you step back into your day, I invite you to take one small step toward this flow. Identify one area where you are currently pushing uphill. Perhaps it's a strained relationship, a persistent work problem, or a goal you are obsessively forcing. For the next 24 hours, apply the principle of letting things be. Step back, observe, create space, and see what effortless solution arises in the vacuum of your non-action. This single act of surrender is a powerful echo of the Tao, resonating with the ancient wisdom that stillness is the source of all movement and silence is the source of all profound sound. Thank you for joining us on Echoes of Life. If this message of effortless living resonated with you, consider subscribing to ensure you don't miss our next exploration into the ancient philosophies that can radically simplify and enrich your modern existence. Share this video with anyone who needs to be reminded that they are already enough and that true power lies in letting go. Until next time, may your actions be effortless and may your life flow like water.